Hi guys, you are with Lisa Timms. This week we have been working on the lung meridian, so I just wanted to go over this quickly with you. If you have any chest problems, congestion, colds and flus, or just simply feel a little down, anxious, depressed, the lung meridian is lovely to work with. It helps to balance the body. As you can imagine, if we get tight in the chest or feel anxious or anything, we're restricted in breath and it affects us mentally, physically and emotionally. So the lung meridian is absolutely lovely to work with. It is partnered with the large intestine, but let us just quickly go through the lung meridian. The lung meridian starts in the chest. So it's just down from the collarbone in line with the ears on the outer side of the chest under the pecs. And I normally just press it like this. I cross two hands and press it like this. So this is the best meridian point to work with. It actually travels all the way down through the inside of the arm and comes to the outer tip of the finger, of the thumb. So all the way up through the inside of the arm and down into the chest. Both sides, obviously. So if you can imagine this when you're breathing. So when we hold this point, we close our eyes. We're taking a big deep breath. We're pushing into the point. Just as if it's a trigger point. You may feel tender if you're a little bit blocked up, and you could be blocked up emotionally, physically or mentally. So if you do have a cold or congestion, or you're suffering with asthma or anything like that, you could have skin allergies or different things. It could be a little bit tight, a little bit sore in this area, so just allow yourself to breathe through it. But when you take your fingers off, just slowly release the point. Don't just take the fingers off. And then just allow yourself to breathe with a slight touch. Sometimes you may feel a pulse underneath the fingers. Once you feel a pulse, that's a really nice indication that the energy has moved and there may have been a blockage. But if you don't feel a pulse, that's completely fine. It's still a lovely place to work with. Now, another exercise to do with the lung meridian is just to simply open the heart. So just taking a big deep breath, opening up, and take an inhale. And come back down. Now you do this with mindfulness. We're taking an inhale. And I'm taking my arms back as far as I can to open up the chest. And if you're not comfortable doing that, lift up the arms, then open and expand the chest. It's a lovely way to refresh the energy that's coming through the body and the energy that's coming into the lungs. So we're opening up the lungs and filling the lungs with this beautiful amount of air. And then we're just letting go anything that no longer serves us. So you have to be mindful when you're doing this. If you're just doing a breath and taking it in and letting it go and not really being mindful of what you're doing, then it's probably not going to work for you. You have to really bring awareness to what's happening. Yes, I'm inhaling, I'm drawing the energy into my lungs, I'm expanding, I'm letting go. Okay, and so I have talked about the lung meridian also governing the skin. So the breathing of the skin, the pores of the skin, the cleansing of the skin. So when we get hot and cold, to bring that equilibrium, that balance, that homeostasis where everything's working at the right temperature. This certainly helps also. So if you do suffer with dermatitis or any skin allergies, obviously seek medical help, but it's a lovely meridian to work on. In order to balance, if you're feeling really chaotic and stressed out, after you've done this point and after you've taken a couple of deep breaths, find a point in your wrist. So because the energy comes down, or the line of the meridian comes down through the arm, we've got meridian points all the way up here. I'm not going to go through them all because it'll take me too long. But a nice point to balance is just in the crease of the hand here. So a good way to find this is just take your fingers and interlace them into the webbing, and just at the point where your thumb touches on the outside of the hand is that point, and then you'll find a little crease. So it's over in the corner side. You'll see the line here and you'll feel a little indentation. So if you bench your hand, you'll be able to put your finger there. This point is a balancing point, so we just take the pressure, relax the body, use the breath, always use the breath. And again, after a minute, no longer than 3, but stay for a minute at least, you may start to feel a little bit of a pulse under there. That's a really good indication that you may have moved the energy and that there has been a release. So it's a lovely feeling. So Lung Meridian is really important. As I said, works side by side with the large intestine, which we're going to go through next week. But just remember, sit here for a moment, take some time with yourself, really breathe into the body. Use a couple of fingers because that way, so if you maybe use 3 fingers downward, there's 2 actual points in the chest and you're going to either get one of them. So if you're worried about, oh, have I got the right point? Just come down from the ears, put your fingers there, cross over, put in 3 fingers, and you're more than likely going to get those points. So this is the Lung Meridian. Work with it, nourish yourself, and breathe. Another thing to do also to really be able to activate the Lung Meridian is do your exercise. So any type of cardiovascular work or breathing work where you're opening up the body. So I'm a yogi and we often do a dynamic class, and our dynamic class is very much about opening up heart center and bringing the energy, letting go, and beautiful, beautiful practice for really activating this point. But other than yoga, if you're not into yoga, if you ride a bike or if you run where you're breathing the lungs and you're feeling and expanding, these are fantastic exercises. So have a beautiful day, and I will see you again soon. Namaste.